Camila, thanks so much for joining us here at Tech Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with talking about Tech Cocktail. We know it's a media and events company. What's the mission and what's your role in this organization?
Well, Tech Cocktail is not, we don't only do events for entrepreneurs, but we also tell the story. So we're actually also a news and resource online platform for entrepreneurs in hyperlocal cities. So, a lot of the attention has been given to cities like like San Francisco and New York, but never, what about the smaller cities? Now people are able to, start up at home, locally with the community they grew up in. So you don't have to move to Silicon Valley. So the idea is to actually be able to tell those stories, because at the end of the day, that's, you tell the success story. That's how these startups and these entrepreneurs get the investment, they get the funding that they need, and they also get the kind of like the encouragement, of building a community, a sustainable ecosystem. So that's really the idea of Tech Cocktail, is to tell these stories and be a resource for entrepreneurs, because startup life is hard.
Oh, yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get to Tech Cocktail?
I like tech because tech allows me to be, working with the tech community allows me to be creative. I don't know how to code. I wish I did. I don't really have any a specific product in mind that I would like to create a startup around. But I do like to tell the stories of these startups. And when I moved back to Miami, it was here, and these stories needed to be told. So this is essentially how it all happened.
Now, did you come in as a journalist and then this kind of intersection with journalism and technology happened for you?
I actually have my bachelor. I'm a bachelor in journalism, so I've always been a writer. I've always, I did broadcasting also, journalism. I did my master's in international relations because I thought I wanted to kind of, first of all, I wanted to move, and also because I wanted to, get a broader perspective of, just to go more into political science. But, I came in, and when they hired me, I knew how to write. I sent them some samples, so they were like, okay, you tell the stories of these startups locally. And how it happened actually is funny, because I started in only focusing in Miami, but because of the demand and because they felt comfortable with me, they told me, just cover the Southeast. So now I cover the Southeast, and sometimes I get pitched from everywhere. So I end up covering everywhere. It's not only in the U.S. but also Latin America. I do a lot of Latin American stories.
Right now in Miami, this technology and entrepreneurship, it's just a really jumping hub that's happening here. How do you get to cover so much of what is happening? There are tons of events happening here all the time.
I don't. I actually wish I did a better job, I'm not going to lie, because there's so, like you said, there's so much happening. And there's only so much I can cover. So that's why one of the things that we like about Tech Cocktail, and we try to encourage, is to bring contributor writers. We want people to actually tell what's happening in their community, or they can bring opinion pieces or what they see around them. That's, let them tell the story also. And that's one of the things I think we're going to focus a little bit more next year, is to encourage people to actually write and contribute, and we'll publish it. Just because, it's not because I can't cover it, it's because it's such a better way to tell, who can tell the story better than you.
So from this coverage and kind of through your lens, tell us, what are you seeing in this South Florida developing ecosystem?
Yesterday I was talking to somebody, and we were just saying how in the last 6 months alone, there's just so much more is happening here in the tech community. And we've been saying this for the last 2 years, but it's just Miami, how we're growing is just, it's amazing. And I think people are getting out there. Entrepreneurs are, leaving their jobs and, taking that leap, and more startups. You see more startups. You see more investors. For me, I think one of the things that I was a little bit concerned about in the beginning of the year is that, right, we have all these startups, but we don't have money, like the investors.
Yeah.
But I think now we're starting to see a creation of a network of investors with like Scout Ventures coming in. There are just so many more, and I think that's just the beginning. Because here in Miami, there's a lot of high network individuals. They just don't really know how to, or they're not involved in the tech community, and they don't know how to invest. So creating that a gap, like bridging that gap between those high network individuals in Miami and the startup community, and making that connection. This could be something great for Miami.
Are you seeing that happening, or are you saying that's what's needed?
I think that's what's needed, but I think we're gonna start seeing this pretty soon.
With the work that Tech Cocktail does in just highlighting just all of this that's going on, what are some other ways that you are looking to grow Tech Cocktail Miami, or are you limited to kind of the national agenda and mission for the larger organization?
What makes Tech Cocktail different than any other publication or any other organization here that is working with startups and telling their stories is that we have access to both hyperlocal and national. So, if we tell the story, a success story here of a startup here in Miami, and it's on our national page, that means that an investor in Silicon Valley may read that story, look into it, and maybe look into Miami. It's like, what's going on in Miami? I keep seeing all these stories. What's going on there? More
Are you
success
finding
story.
stories of those that have failed, maybe with some of their original goals and objectives, but they've been able to sit still for a minute, revamp, and just come back out again, and
Well, you
really
have
just
to.
kind of right. You found some of those stories also to cover.
Yes, and
Good,
I like that
good.
too. But you know what? Most startups have to go through that. They have to pivot. You go in and you will ask any entrepreneur, and I admire them. I'm sure they will tell you this better than I do. Is that what they originally thought their product or what they're going to create is completely different than what made them successful. Or the passion and the idea is there, but it's not what they originally thought out of, and it's hard. They'll
Yes.
tell you how hard that is.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, Camila, thank you so much for joining
you.
us at Tech Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck for you guys too.
Thank you so much.